This is the brief on Pau Cubarsí. We're looking at a teenager who went from a tiny Spanish village of fewer than 200 people, with literally no football pitch, to becoming a $500 million Barcelona superstar and a 2026 World Cup champion. Well, first, let's look at his roots and relentless drive. He joined Barcelona's famous La Masia Academy at age 11. While breaking into the first team at just 16 under Xavi, he was juggling a brutal high school schedule with classes from 3 to 8 p.m., even aiming for a business degree. Can you imagine literally playing high-stakes Champions League football and then having to ask your buddies for their high school history notes the next day? So second, his dedication totally paid off in his club career. Barcelona considers him so irreplaceable, they recently renewed his contract to 2029 with a jaw-dropping $500 million release clause. He anchors manager Hansi Flick's incredibly risky high defensive line system. But, we have to ask, is a $500 million price tag a protective shield or an impossible weight for an 18-year-old carrying Barcelona's entire defense? Finally, we've got to talk about his global dominance. At just 19, he led Spain to the 2026 World Cup Championship, winning the Young Player Award. His passing accuracy in the group stages sat at a mind-blowing 98 to 99%. To put that into perspective, it's like having an elite NFL quarterback who literally never misses a pass, orchestrating the entire offense straight from the backline. Pau Cubarsí isn't just a defender. He's a highly educated $500 million generational talent who is completely redefining how football is played.
Imagine being 19, lifting the 2026 World Cup for Spain and clutching the Young Player Award. We've been looking through all these scouting reports and tactical breakdowns for this deep dive into Pau Cubarsí.
Yeah, trying to figure out how a kid from Estanyol, which is a village of literally 200 people, just became the defensive architect of world football.
It really defies normal career progression.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you watch the tape, what really strikes you isn't his tackling. It's his vision.
Right.
He operates as this deep-lying playmaker, which essentially means, he's controlling the tempo and the direction of the entire game from the very back of the pitch.
Yeah, he operates exactly like a veteran NFL quarterback, reading a defense before the snap.
That is such a good way to put it.
Right, He uses his eyes to manipulate the opposing forwards, shifting their weight one way, before threading a crisp pass right into the exact pocket of space they just vacated.
Yeah, right up the middle.
Exactly. Or, if the defense pinches in, he'll just launch this pinpoint long ball out to Lamine Yamal on the wing.
And that is highly intentional. La Masia, Barcelona's academy, they train center backs to scan the field like chess masters.
So while a traditional defender is taught to just clear the ball to safety, Cubarsí is trained to actively invade pressure.
Yeah, precisely.
Wow.
He draws the attackers in to intentionally create empty space behind them, and then, he exploits it.
And the numbers back that up completely. During the World Cup group stages, his passing accuracy was 98, 99, and 98%.
Which is just absurd.
It is. And at Barcelona, he's averaging 81 completed passes every 90 minutes. But because he operates almost like a midfielder when he has the ball, his physical positioning changes entirely.
Right, which forces Barcelona to adjust how they defend as a whole team. Under Hansi Flick, they use this high line, meaning the defenders push way up toward the midfield.
Yeah, it essentially shrinks the playable area to suffocate the opponent.
Yeah.
But it leaves this massive empty space behind them.
Exactly. So to survive that, Cubarsí has to perfectly execute offside traps, like stepping forward in exact unison with his center back partner, Inigo Martinez.
Just to catch attackers illegally behind the defense. But honestly, looking at the footage, it seems a bit reckless. I mean, you're leaving half the pitch completely unprotected.
Oh, it is a massive vulnerability if the timing is off by a fraction of a second.
Right. Even Cubarsí admitted in an interview that seeing this high line from the outside makes him think, a ball behind our backs could really hurt us.
Yeah, it requires immense trust in the defensive line to spring that trap flawlessly. But, compare that high wire act to his role for Spain at the World Cup.
Right. Totally different. The setup there was just an impenetrable back five. They didn't concede a single group stage goal.
Because he had a massive safety net, right? He was playing alongside the veteran Aymeric Laporte with the world-class protection of Rodri sitting just ahead.
So he didn't have to protect 50 yards of empty grass behind him.
Exactly. He could rely on structure rather than, offside traps.
It's just a massive cognitive dissonance when you look at his life off the pitch, too. I mean, both club and country are heavily betting their futures on him.
Oh, totally. Barcelona locked him down with a staggering €500 million release clause just to keep Manchester City away.
€500 million for a teenager. And fans are already calling him the rightful successor to Carles Puyol and Gerard Piqué.
Yet, during his explosive debut season, he was literally still a high school student.
Which is just wild.
Right. Former youth director Jordi Rora described his personality as serious and cultured, and you really see that in how he handles his daily life.
His grounded mindset really is his superpower. I mean, you're orchestrating an offside trap against elite European strikers on Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning you're asking your teachers for missed notes.
Yeah, because a Champions League match got in the way of your studies. He's actually eyeing a degree in marketing or business administration.
Wow.
Yeah, that level of grounded maturity is precisely why they see him as a future Barca captain. He isn't, getting lost in his own hype.
So for you listening, when you watch him play, you are watching someone redefine the modern defender role.
He's that quarterback in cleats, balancing a high school textbook in one hand and a World Cup trophy in the other.
Exactly. But that unprecedented rise leaves us with a critical unknown to ponder. With a €500 million price tag in comparisons to absolute legends like Puyol before he's even 20 years old, how will this seemingly flawless prodigy handle the crushing weight of expectations when he inevitably faces his first major career setback?
This is The Brief on how La Masia talent is shaping the future of Barcelona and the Spanish national team. Barcelona's academy is churning out a new golden generation, and 19-year-old center back Pau Cubarsí is literally changing the game for his club and World Cup winning country. So let's dive in. First, Barcelona locked Cubarsí down through 2029 with an outrageous €500 million release clause to fend off Manchester City. He's absolutely crucial to Hansi Flick's extreme high defensive line tactics, averaging 81 completed passes per 90 minutes. Trusting a teenager to anchor a high-line defense against Europe's elite is like handing a kid with a learner's permit the keys to a Formula One car. Plus, he was balancing this with high school homework just a couple of years ago. Second, Spain won the 2026 World Cup, and Cubarsí was named Young Player of the Tournament. He anchored 3 group stage clean sheets with an absurd passing accuracy of 98, 99, and 98%. We're talking about a 19-year-old acting as a deep-lying playmaker on the world's biggest stage. How many seasoned veterans can even dream of those numbers? Finally, Cubarsí outperformed fellow La Masia sensation Lamine Yamal at the World Cup, though Yamal was managing a hamstring injury. With talents like Balde and Gavi, these kids are bailing Barcelona out of financial holes and securing Spain's future. With €500 million price tags and World Cup trophies on the line, you have to wonder, are we putting way too much pressure on these kids, or is La Masia just building them different? Whether they are anchoring a risky highline in La Liga or lifting the World Cup, La Masia's latest graduates prove that the future of Spanish football is already here, and it's shockingly young.